Hi everyone on Facebook, guitarists and musicians alike. What I'm going to attempt to do very quickly tonight is just play through a very sort of interesting backing track on YouTube. It's by Fusion Jam Tracks, if you want to subscribe. And it's basically an idea that you're playing through 12 different key centres in Lydian mode. So it's basically 12 major scales starting on the fourth note of each of those scales. And what we're trying to do is negotiate our way around each of the modulations or key changes as melodically as we possibly can. So the idea is we're starting in C Lydian and then working away all through all 12 key centres. And what we want to try and do, what I'm going to try and attempt to do is play each of the chord changes as smoothly as possible and try and connect the phrases together so they sound musical, and try and work across the whole fingerboard in sort of random places, and you know, just try and push yourself into thinking more about the sound of each of the key changes rather than the scale shapes and patterns that we already know. So you know, something I need to get more used to doing. There's probably loads of guys on Facebook and YouTube who are great at doing this. I don't have much practice on this thing. This is why I'm putting this video up, just to show that it is actually quite useful to learn. Anyway, here it is. I'm just going to try and play through each one and try and talk about each of the changes as I do it. We'll see anyway. Depends on how much concentration I need. So here we go. Starting on C Lydian. I think the next one's E flat Lydian after that, and I can't remember the others, so just see what happens. C Lydian first. Phrases, different speeds. Different intervals, you know. E Lydian. work across the whole. That's dreadful. B flat. Really making mistakes there. Obviously don't play B flat Lydian very much. D Lydian. Same as the C major scale. And I'll cock it off. How many times have I played C major? A flat Lydian. That's horrible. So hopefully that's highlighted how terrible I am at doing that in one. No, seriously. What it helps you to do is obviously think really outside of what what you normally do if you just don't really play over chord changes like myself. So obviously I've got a lot of homework to do on that, to try and move into the different key centres and stuff a bit more smoothly. Also helps to know what's coming next as well. So I didn't really, to be in all fairness, I didn't really know much about that backing track. I only just put it on, but it's a good thing just to surprise yourself and just to try and push yourself in that idea of listening out for the next chord sound or chord tone. Like I say, I'm no real fusion player at all, but hopefully this is helpful just to see, basically giving you a bit of advice on what you can try and do there. So obviously the first thing to do before you even try and do any of this is to learn your major scale shapes and to learn as many as you can all across the fingerboard. I believe there are 7 different major scale shapes, and the best way to approach playing major scales, I haven't really got time to cover this today, but is to go 3 notes per string and to learn them in these sort of box shapes. I mean, they're quite irritating, the box shapes, namely because they're not very musical. What you want to try and do is learn how to play the major scales on 1 string, really. It's probably the best thing to do. But the box shapes are there to sort of as a reference point. So it's probably worth learning box shapes first, then learning them in a linear fashion up and down the guitar neck on maybe one string at a time, and then put a backing track on or something and try and play along with a major scale. Probably better to try and play along with one of the modes of the major scale rather than just a C major scale, horrible, just a C major nursery rhyme type sound. What you want to probably go with is the Lydian or the Aeolian or the Phrygian sounds. Is they're a little bit more rock inspired, those ones, and mixed Lydian of course, and the Dorian. Pretty much all of them really, I suppose. I mean, the major scale does sound nice, don't get me wrong, you just got to use it in the right way. It's always best to go for a Lydian sound. I prefer Lydian sound anyway. Anyway, thanks for listening, and hopefully it's just helpful for someone out there. If you want me to do this sort of same thing again, maybe slow it down a bit or explain it in more detail, just leave it in the comments box, or any other suggestions you have. Would be great. Any feedback would be much appreciated. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.